One of the things that I love about real estate and has always fascinated with me is that it's definitely a conglomeration of a lot of different aspects. You have obviously the people aspect, the emotions, which commercial real estate, obviously we think there's no emotions, it's all business, it's all numbers. Not true at all. Lots of emotions are running through when you're talking this much. The large numbers, large dollars, what that means to your future. There's a lot of that goes into that, but also the business aspect, operations of business, because real estate is a business, and whether you own a hotel or you own a multifamily property or even you own a Walgreens, obviously it's a much easier, not a whole lot of operation, but there's still big business decisions that have to be made. That plus obviously the numbers, the finances, the analytics, how one little difference can accelerate and make a huge difference over time. Just bringing all of those aspects together has always just been fascinating to me. And I love that about real estate, and specifically commercial real estate. And as you know, I've always gravitated towards the type of commercial real estate that has a lot of operation and business aspect, multifamily, hospitality. Those the values of those properties are very much determined by the operations and the success of the business and the property itself.
And I think where maybe my passion comes in is with the emotions there, and there is a lot in this, that you have to take the emotions out of it as the third party. I think that's really important in real estate, and the good brokers, the good real estate agents, the good people really in any industry that have a space where there's a lot of emotions, the professionals are being hired to take the emotion out. And I think sometimes that gets lost in transition with, thinking that maybe we're cold, but it's not. We're being paid to remove the emotions, and that's why buyers and sellers really shouldn't talk. We hear the things that the sellers say and we hear the things that the buyers say, and the moment that each other start hearing those messages from each other, that's when everything goes up in flames. And so, it takes a lot to learn, but you have to remove the emotion from this business, and that's really what we are getting paid to do, and to get it to the closing table, because the things that they say about each other let's be honest, you guys know, everyone that's watching, you've probably bought and sold something before and thinking that the other person is unfair or whatever. If we were translating these messages back and forth, nothing would ever make it to the closing table, because you guys would all wind up wanting to, tell the other person where to go. So I think that for people to think that real estate agents don't come home and want to pull out their hair because they're like, oh my God, how do I translate this message without, blowing up the deal? There is a lot of stress that goes into it and trying to translate that message. So then, and everybody has the same goal. The other thing is, in real estate, everybody thinks that there's this clashing and we all want to fight, when this isn't like a courtroom in real estate. A real estate transaction is not like a full-on courtroom, like everyone fighting over a lawsuit and wanting to have a different outcome. A real estate transaction, everybody wants to have the same outcome. Everybody wants to get to the closing table. The sellers want to sell, the buyers want to buy, and it's our job to make sure that they can get there, and whatever creative way that we can come up with to sometimes get those really mucky deals to the end. And by mucky, we're dealing with title issues, liens, sellers that have to make a bottom dollar to be able to move on, or buyers that they're at the very peak of their pre-approval. And there's so many ways that we have to get creative that it only comes with experience of doing that. But the idea is that we all have the same goal, and it's just a matter of getting there with trying to leave the emotions not in the middle of the transaction.
And that's why you need somebody good in the middle to be able to, because we do want our clients to be very open, very honest, give us the emotions and everything that you're feeling, because that helps us to best represent you and get you everything that it is that you really want, and get it at least as close to the perfect deal that we can, whether you're on the buyer side or the seller side. And I kind of relate it to sports too. Not a huge sports guy, but a lot of the best athletes out there, they are passionate, they're fighting the whole way, but at the end of the play, at the end of the game, they're shaking hands, they're hugging the guys on the other team. Like, we're really all on the same page. A buyer and the seller, they want the same things. Seller wants to sell, the buyer wants to buy. Everybody wants the best deal, but that's our job to figure out what it is that really motivates you, because price is huge, always, of course. Dollars speak, cash is king, but that's never the only factor. There's so many factors that go on throughout a deal, motivating somebody to buy and to sell, and it's our job to be able to pull those together and to really be able to find the best win-win. And ultimately, the best deals for us and our clients are always the ones where we end up at the closing table, shake hands, high five, and say, hey, this was great, let's do it again.